telling you about. Now, if I didn't get to mention it earlier, those horns are about 3 to 4 feet long, but they're hollow and honeycomb shape on the inside. They are full of blood, and they actually use their horns. They'll push heat out of their horns to actually help keep themselves nice and cool on the hotter days. But my friends, we're going to be continuing on. It looks like the family herd is way straight there. If you look straight towards the back to the right, you'll see the family herd hanging out back there. But we are going to be passing their next door neighbors, which are out here on the left. They are the greater flamingo. Now, when greater flamingo are born, they're not this natural, beautiful pink color. It does take them about 2 whole years to look just like this. But they do get their pink coloration from the keratin that is in brine shrimp, which is their favorite food. Now, my favorite thing about them is actually that a flock of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Now, we are going to be passing even farther into the savannah here in just a second. Kind of creep our way around this corner right here. Now, maybe we'll get to see some different types of larger animals. It looks like the white rhinos are making their way this way, or at least some of them are. Now, we did see the black rhino earlier. Black rhinos and white rhinos are kind of different. They are related, but the white rhinos have a wide mouth. It's actually what they're named after, the Afrikaans word weit, meaning wide, rather than white. Now, black rhinos, on the other hand, have a pointed upper lip, so that's the main difference between the two. But these big guys, they do weigh up to about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds each. And even though they are large, they are able to charge at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. Now, you'll see out here on the left, we've got a little baby approaching. He is about a year old at this point, and he is a whopping 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
Now, just recently, he did have a brand new half-brother born, and possibly a half-brother and or sister. We're not sure if it's a male or female yet. So there's 2 brand new baby rhinos that here pretty soon, maybe next year, they'll be making a debut out onto the safari. So just keep your eyes out for it. Maybe you guys can come back and visit us and see those brand new baby rhinos, because he'll actually have someone to play with now, rather than messing around with his aunties. Now, it does look like most of the crash is over here, and the crash is what you call a group of white rhinos.
Wow.
And they are vegetarians as well. Now, on the hotter days, they like to spend their time over here in the wallow, in the mud wallow, because they'll roll around in that mud and they'll coat their skin in it. And that helps keep their skin nice and soft, but also to help protect their skin from the sun and from bugs. Now, we are passing into big cat country out there on the left. If you see at the top of that hill right there, there's a cheetah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, cheetahs are very sleek and slender. That's because they are built for speed. Now, they are able to run up to 60 miles an hour within 3 seconds, but they aren't able to keep that fast pace up for very long, only for a few hundred yards. Now, their tail is pretty much what helps keep them balanced, because it acts like a rudder like on a ship, helps them change direction and help keep them balanced as they run that fast pace. That's one of the main things that makes them such successful hunters, other than their eyesight. They have really great eyesight during the daytime because they have tear marks that help reflect glare from the sun. Now, out there on the left-hand side, if you look at the base of those rocks right there, there's a male lion right there laying on the ground. Now, lions are actually some of the only type of big cats that do like to stay together in a group, which is called a pride. They're also some of the only ones that do like to cooperatively hunt together. Now, out there on your right-hand side, that smaller brown animal, that is a bontebok. And the bontebok actually is very rare. There's only about 20 of them left until a group of local farmers actually got together and rescued them, protecting them on their land. And this is about the only place you can find them nowadays is on a reserve. So they're very special, and they're very heavily hunted for their reddish-brown coat. But they are indeed related to the wildebeest, and they're a type of African antelope, actually. Now, those birds that we passed back there, everybody knows what they are. They're the ostrich. Ostriches are actually indeed Africa's largest flightless bird. They do use their wings to help them change direction as they run. and they can run up to speeds of 40 miles an hour. Now, since we saw Simba, we get to see Pumbaa. Pumbaa is actually not Swahili for warthog, it's Swahili for foolish one. But we've got the 3 warthogs are laying down here in the mud, right on the far right-hand side. Now, warthogs have very small snouts, and those there's 2 razor-sharp tusks on both sides of their face, and they use those to dig those deep holes in the ground called burrows. Now, they'll use those burrows primarily at night. They'll back in with those razor-sharp tusks out, so they can keep themselves safe from any predators that could approach them. Now, they generally will get pretty territorial once they are officially in their burrows. So they actually really don't like to be bothered once they're in there. But they are indeed Africa's largest burrowing animal. Now, even if they are pretty small as well, they actually can run into speeds of 35 miles an hour as well. So they're pretty quick on those tiny little legs. But we're going to be making our way into our final destination here in the safari. Here in Magadi Glen. It is home to the Warden's Coast. Now, the Warden has taken in some new friends to help them hold down the reserve, and it looks like they're doing a great job. These guys are always out here working really hard, day and night. They're the Nigerian dwarf goats. Now, these Nigerian dwarf goats, even though they are small, they actually are all adults. But they are exceptional climbers, and they love to play. Now, when they are playing, that's actually them trying to figure out who is the more dominant in the entire group. And even though they are domestic, they are actually very important. They are a milk-producing goat. That milk they produce is actually very highly valued because it's very sweet and it's very nutritional. So these goats are very, very helpful for conservation. They're actually helping improve the relationship between humans and domestic life, and humans and the environment. So really, really fantastic things. Simple, simple, simple. Now, as we make our way out of the reserve, we're going to be making our way back to Harambe. I do just want to leave you with a few things. Number one is we as humans, we are the largest group of mammals on the entire planet. So we are the ones that can make a huge difference for the rest of the planet, regardless whether that be animals or humans alike. We have the chance to make a difference. And we can do that in lots of different ways. Conservation-wise, we can recycle our paper and plastic products. That'll help out tons of different types of animals. And you can do that while you're here in Walt Disney World. You can try and take that practice home with you. It's pretty easy to get into. You can also recycle those electronic devices. Now, if you want to learn